Hello, everyone, and welcome to the session tonight, and welcome to KF Vietnamese. Before we begin, I'd like to share my disclaimer. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not a spiritual master. I'm not an expert of any kind. I'm just a country pumpkin sharing his theoretical perspective for entertainment purpose only. As usual, we have some regulars. Hi, welcome. And before we begin, I'd like to invite Father Earth, my higher self, my team, the higher self of everyone here, their team, if they wish to join us, to hold space so that we can share this workshop successfully and to help people here digest the information easier and to help assist us to put everyone in their own lone harmonics so that we don't have an exchange of energy. We have enough garbage to deal with already, so we don't need any extra work, so that when we are in our lone harmonic in this group session, our energy won't be affecting one another, so we can just rest in peace. Hello, Mr. Wang. The session tonight is to share how to make the cup of man. Or not the cup of man, the cup of soul, sorry. I will explain mainly the theory and show samples without actual implementation because the setup I have right now would be inconvenient, but it's not that hard. In this session, we will share by doing the cup of soul, we also make the cup of man and one cup, one life, cup one and cup two. Because in order to make the cup of soul, it is the cup of man plus the cup with all zinc. Like what we have here, all nano zinc, just not regular zinc, all nano zinc. It's a little bit bent, but so the cup of the soul has this component which is very important for balancing the emotion, our emotion, because all the zinc is nano, it has a higher strength, a larger spectrum, so that it covers more I usually call it the radiant. It covers more potential difference. This is a different. This design is a little different because I made the middle guy like the McGrath coil. There is a wire inside just to help, just a change of feel to create more potential difference. That is the only main difference between the cup of man and the cup of the soul. The cup of man is the physicality and soul physicality. The physicality include the what's make up our body, the minerals, the atoms, and when they combine, they create a bigger unit, which you call the amino acid, the heart, the lung, all those things. You can call them as another level up because it's collecting more energy, and you call it the soul physicality. When all the soul physicality add up, you have the soul of man, which is the next level up, which is all the zinc. All the zinc is for the soul of man. Then zinc inside. Yes, there's a. Oh, I don't have it here. We have like the zinc coil. At the end, you have this long wire. What you do is you loop it right back in. But this was not designed to loop back in. So with the zinc, there's another the wire at the end long enough to loop back in the beginning to create that circle, that sphere. So the cup of, we have the one cup, one life. Cup one is for the soul physicality. Cup two is for the physicality. The third cup, which is the combination of cup one and cup two, called the cup of man. So that is that Mr. Keshe using that the cups designed to teach us about our creation. We are made up of different components from different field interaction from the environment. So the cup one, cup two, cup of man, cup of the soul, cup of the planet, all those are tools to teach us about our relationship to environment and our creation. At the same time, it is able to address the different issues, the problem we have in life, like lack of balance from emotion. So when we are imbalanced, we need the zinc to bring us back into balance. Our physicality does the same thing. When it's off balance, it needs some copper and the cup two and cup one. So the design is very logical from the bottom up, where we have the physicality is a cup number two. Cup of one is a soul physicality. When you add those two cups together, you have the cup of man, which is our structure, all the atoms and our physical body. We have cup of man, which is our whole design. Then on top of that, we have a soul inside of us, which is the third cup, which is all zinc. Then you have when you have the all zinc component connected to the cup of man, then you have cup of the soul. It's teaching us the design of our structure. Miss Mai asked, can I use my original cup one and cup two to make cup of man, or should I use the new cup one and two? It's up to you, because as you can see from the diagram I share from the screenshot, you can look at that diagram on KF Vietnamese or on KF Vietnamese website. It depends on the connection. When you make cup one, cup two already, it has it's pretty much being created already. If you want to use the existing one, meaning you harvest cup one, cup two out, then use that same setup to make GANs again, yes. If you have created GANs already for 2 or 3 weeks, then it pretty much has the feel in there already. It's better off to harvest that GANs than use the copper and the zinc you have in there to redo again. But now you change the connection. Now you connect. When we see this is the cup one, which is the one cup, one life. You have the nano copper in the middle, the regular copper on the side, and the zinc. So now that we harvest the GANs from cup one, and we harvest the GANs from cup two, now to make it into the cup of man, we have to connect the two things. To connect the two components, let me untangle this guy. The connection is very simple. We have we take out a nano. This is a nano coated copper in the middle. We connect the non-nano coated stuff together, meaning the cup two would have two pieces of copper that is not nano coated. It is connected together. It is connected together like this one. Now we connect this one from cup one to cup two with another wire. Then voila. Then we connect this is the nano coated copper from cup one to the nano coated copper in cup two. Then the third step is connect the nano coated copper to the regular non-nano coated stuff with another wire, like you see in the design from the what you call that shot in the beginning. I forgot. Just follow the design. It's really simple to connect. Now, when you have the old zinc cup, it's the same thing. With the old zinc cup, now you have all 3 nano-coated zinc. Now, these 3 connected together, then they get connected to the nano-coated part from the other 2 cups. What Mr. Keshe recommends is to put it vertically so that it represents more our design because just not that the three cups, we also have the inertia of the planet and the mag graph of the planet. So when you have the distance gap up from the top to the bottom, it represents the different field strength. The higher you go up, the strength is weaker. So when you have the zinc on the top, then you have the soul physicality and the physicality on the bottom. It represents more our vertical design and the distance from the center of the earth, where you have the effect of the inertia and the effect of the gravitational field of the planet on our design. It mimics a little bit more. It might be more effective. How much more, I don't know, but that is the recommendation Mr. Keshe have. You can lay it horizontally and see the difference. You can make it by putting it vertically, then make another set, make it horizontally, then make another set vertically and see the difference for yourself for hand-on experience. For me, I don't care about 100% efficiency, as long as it works. To me, that is all that matters. Might say, thank you, that helps so much. For me, it's about, as long as it works. I don't care about optimizing everything. That's for someone who wants to specialize in tweaking out the most. For me, it is a stepping stone. It's a learning tool to understand about myself, my relationship to the environment and the universe. Once I'm done with that, voila, gone. I'm to the next step. Instead of getting caught into the drama of, okay, how many, the coil like this, how long should it have be, how many windings, clockwise, counterclockwise, do I nano with fire, do I nano with caustic, all those things. It just add more drama, irrelevant stuff that make our mind get caught into the game of creation without understanding that why are we making it in the first place, and what am I using it for? We lose track of the big picture when we are being distracted and focused on the technicality of trying to make the GANs. Doesn't matter how we make it, it will work. Most important is our intention. When we make, when we're making, whether it's cup 1, cup 2, or the cup of man, or the cup of soul, or the cup of the planet, whatever the cups we're making, what is my intention for this cup? Am I just doing it to prove that it is real? It is, or am I doing it to satisfy my curiosity? I'm doing it to help me and my family get back into balance. I'm using it, I'm making it to provide better health for my family. When we have a clear intention and purpose, it magnifies the effect of the GANs, just like a GMO seed has the seed itself and another layer, another McGrath, magnetic gravitational field around it, adding extra characteristic, extra properties. So when our mind, when we are in with clear intention and purpose, we add an extra McGrath field around the GANs, so to make it more effective than what it is. So it's always good to have a clear intention. That's why Mr. Keshe said many times, when before you make GANs, pray for it. Pray is another word for lack of confidence. That you pray to God, you pray for this, you pray for that, because you don't believe in yourself. You don't believe in it. That's why you're trying to ask it. When you have belief in yourself, and when you have the clear intention, you know you will get. That's what I want. That's what I will create. That's what I will get. So that is the difference between praying and having clear intention. Praying is being hopeful that you might get it. Clear intention, I know I'm going to get. That's what I want to make. This is what I'm making it for. You can do either way. For those that are new, especially those that are religious people, then you can also pray for the cup to make whatever your intention, what you're praying for. That will also contribute to the effectiveness of the GANs. Now that we have the design out of the way, we can go back to, okay, the wire, the connection. One more thing that we have to talk about that Mr. Keshe mentioned before. What's the difference between the coil and the plate? The coil creates more what you call potential difference. If you have just this flat plate, it represents more our physicality. So that each one of this coil here interacts with the plate. the more coils you have, the more interaction, the more potential difference, the bigger the spectrum. So when we have, for example, that pandemic and that virus having X strength and it's it keeps changing. So when we have a big spectrum, what you call in Keshe plasma science, we call that potential difference, the radiant. The bigger the gradient we have, the larger field we're able to, the larger, bigger area we're able to cover. So it doesn't matter how it mutate and change, we got to cover. That's why we can use more coils, coils on both sides, so we have and create the bigger spectrum, larger range to cover everything. When you have bigger range, especially for the zinc, when you have all the coils, it creates more plasma energy. It satisfies the soul more faster. So it creates a faster awakening process. You're able to tune in, tap in, and connect with your soul faster because you're receiving more energy than if you were creating with the zinc plate than the zinc coil. Once you nanocode it, you're creating more energy. So the more energy we see, the higher our frequency goes up, the faster our mind gets to be expanded, the quicker we become enlightened. When we become enlightened, then we're done with this game of separation here. So we don't have to come back and play this game again. So at the end, when we get to leave this planet naturally, we actually able to graduate because we able to receive enough energy. The process of living by itself is accumulation of energy. We accumulate energy from eating, from breathing, from everyday activity. We cannot, that is the evolution, we cannot stop. That's a natural process of evolution. When we eat, accumulating energy is part of the evolution process. So when we're able to accumulate more by using GANs technology, we speed up the process. We consciously speed up the process, expedite the process of accumulating enough energy so we're able to expand faster, go up to the next level, and graduate to the next class. So let's say we're at 3rd grade right now. When we accumulate enough energy, we graduate to the 4th grade. After the 4th grade, we accumulate some more energy. We go to the 5th grade, 6th grade, and so on until we go all the way back to source. So cultivation, ascension, evolution, it is the cycle that we evolve back to source to become one, in oneness. We have so many different terms, but it mean exactly the same thing. So that is the only difference. So you can try it out yourself. You can make it out, the standard blueprint. Just follow the standard blueprint. Don't do what I do. Then after that, when you're comfortable with the process, you have a basic, something to compare to, then you can step away from this coil and the zinc and try with the all coils and see what happens. And try with making it like the McGrath coil where you have more field interaction. If you're even more adventurous, you make the McGrath coil itself. You have the inner coil and the outer coil to create more field interaction. You have a bigger field range, expanding out, interacting, and see what happens. As for the solution, it's the same as cup 1, cup 2, and everything. 15% salt. I'm using right here for my setup would be 2-liter glass, plastic. It's fine. It doesn't really matter. But it does matter. But when you have plastic, you take the carbon from the CH bond from the plastic. When you have glass, the only source of carbon you have is from the water and from the environment. So if you live in the countryside where the air is very clean, you might make less CO2 because there's no carbon to grab from anywhere because the environment doesn't provide the carbon as much. If you're in the city with the thanks to the exhaust and all the breathing, all the people, all that congestion, and you have so much carbon in the environment, then it's great for making CO2. But if you have in the jungle and in the countryside where the air is nice and fresh, plenty of oxygen, but there's really much no carbon, then the process is slower. So choose your container. It doesn't really, it's your preference. I like to make glass. Plastic, make sure you use high grade or food grade plastic, HDPE. In the United States, in Europe, that's not a problem. But in Vietnam and other third world countries, low grade plastic is more common. So in here, I put my my setup. These two guys, I close up so they fit in here. I filled up with 15% salt solution. You can make it with just plain sodium chloride or sodium chloride with all of its minerals. So that's a different salt. You have two choices. The regular table salt, I recommend not to eat that thing because it's just salty. It lacks minerals for our body, what our body needs. When we eat salt, just eat the natural sea salt with all the minerals in it that has not been taken out. And the same thing when you make gans, try making it just the what I call the stripped down version of salt, the table salt, and get the full version with all the minerals and see how the difference it makes. I normally use the natural sea salt with all the minerals in it because I use it mainly for health purpose. And our body, our blood, the ratio is almost the salt water, the mineral content is almost identical to our blood. It's just missing, I think just about one mineral. I'm not sure exactly which one, but it's very close to our blood. So that's why I use the natural sea salt, not just the sodium chloride. And in here, you leave it. You can use it without the battery, with the battery, with a power supply when you connect to the 3 cups. But it's better to leave it naturally. When you leave it naturally, connect it like this, without the battery and without the power supply. You have time to accumulate amino acid. You need amino acid to create the connection to make it more effective to bond with us, with the plants, with the animals. So always do the slow method so you have the chance for the amino acid to build up and collect at least a week to have a decent amount of amino acid on top. Then you can leave it more, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So you start collecting amino acid on top. Those oily thing, rainbow color, multicolor. It's a very thin layer. You can use a plastic spoon to scoop it out, put it aside, collect it for later use. And when you wash this thing, when you harvest the gans, it depends on like I say, the people, the environment. Mr. Keshe mentioned that when you're making gans, it depends on what you need. Your soul know what you need. Your soul knows what you need. The gans come out perfectly for you. You don't have to have a lot of gans come out to call it successful. You could have more copper than zinc or more zinc than copper because your soul knows what you need the most. Lotus asks, does the environment affect the gans quality? Yes. Is the gans created in the countryside better than the urban one? It depends because the environment affects the gans we make. Whatever is in the solution and whatever around the solution, like at least within 5 meters, affect its energy. If you have like radioactive stuff next by it, it will take that energy in, become a part of it. So when you make this stuff, make sure it stayed away from, well, you can't avoid Wi-Fi and cellular signal and all that stuff and electromagnetic. You have to get some degrees, some of that stuff, but just don't put it right next to your Wi-Fi router and make the GANs. So use some common sense. Don't put it right next to some surge protector, to power outlet or something like that. They put it a little bit some distance away. So reduce, because when you put it a distance away, it reduces dramatically the Wi-Fi field, electromagnetic field, instead of putting it right next to it. In the city, it's fine. It's not a big difference. It's not something you're going to have to, something that you have to, from the city, from the countryside, not just, it doesn't, it's not that big a difference. Don't move to the countryside or the city just to make gains, because it's not a game changer. Let me put it that way. It's not a game changer. What more important is our intention, what we plan to do with it. Miss Mai said, I'm in Detroit, no battery needed. In the city, in Detroit, in Philly, in Los Angeles, New York City, that's fine. Plenty of people in the city. I'll make it again. I'll say it again. It is not a game changer. It's not something to fret over, to think about, to ponder. You make best use of the environment. It works anywhere. And when we wash the GANs out, when we remember to take out this thing gently. Zinc, when you put it too long, it becomes fragile and dark and gonna break apart and make your GANs look gooey. It still works fine. It's just cosmetically, it's not pleasing to the eyes. If people like to have white, fluffy GANs instead of having some black goo in it or black particles in it, it's just a matter of preference. Take it out gently. Then stir your GANs up, because sometimes when you make the GANs, you have stuff floating on top. It will take forever to settle down. So it makes it difficult to pour the water out and clean it if you want to drink it. So stir it up, let it settle down for 1 day, 24 hours. Then you can begin to filter out the water, just pour it out, shift it out, be creative in how you want to take the water out. And wash at least 2 or 3 times to make it to remove the salt. The purpose of washing the GANs is to remove the salt, so when we drink it, it doesn't irritate our throat. If we're not going to drink it, there's no need to wash the GANs. We can use it straight up for the paint pad, spraying the environment, spraying our body. There's no need to wash it. If you're going to wash it, save the wash water for other uses. I will talk about from another video what you can do with the wash water. The wash water is the same thing as what we can do with the liquid plasma. There's so many uses for it. Depends on what GANs we're making. I think that now that we covered the making the GANs and how do we use it, one thing I have to mention is when you look at the diagram, you have the wire connection. For me, because when you make the cup of salt, there is no need to wire the cup 1 to cup 2 to the old zinc cup, because when you put it within close enough distance, the few interact, just like someone asked about the environment. When you have 3 containers next to one another, the few interact. So there is really no need to create the wire connection when you have a plasma connection. So try both way. Do the wire connection like according to the diagram, or do just putting them next to one another. Don't put them so close. When you put them so close together, they are like one maggraph field. Put them far enough so that they become separate entities, meaning how far apart? I have no idea. Make it at least 6 inches. Don't put it like right next to like 1 centimeter or 1 inch apart. That would be too close. Put at least 6 inches apart, about this far apart, so that there's a gap between them, so the fuel from one cup to another can interact, and they act as separate entity instead of one entity. And try that out. So that is the only thing that I recommend trying out when you make several times. Is you don't have to wire it, because when the GANs, when you make it, radiate out at least 5 meters in distance. So the few are interacting between the cup 1, cup 2, and the old zinc cup. How do I use it? Well, if you watch my video, 5 ways to use GANs. Drinking is the most common for people when they're just starting out. They don't understand about energy, few plasma, then that is the way to go. But when you are meditating, you're more spiritual, you can feel energy, you can sit in front of it and feel the energy, then you can try that way. So check out my video, my other video, 5 ways to use GANs, and choose which way the method that is appropriate for you. If you're going to choose drinking the GANs, then what is the ratio? How much do I use from those zinc and cup 1 and cup 2? That is depend. What is your purpose? Are you doing for prevention for the pandemic, or you use it for, okay, crap, I got it. Now what do I do? What ratio do I mix? If we are going to use the few interaction, then we don't have to worry about ratio, because our body takes what it needs. There is no worry about X millimeter, this and that. We have it all figured out just by sitting in front. We are getting the energy we need. If you're going to drink it, the liquid plasma, that Mr. Keshe recommend 40 to 60% from the old zinc. Then you combine the other two, just like when you look at the protocol for One Cup One Life, then you can use appropriately. You can spray cup 2 from your neck down, doing to the prevention or to test to see if you have it. You can do it daily maintenance, spray it around cup 2, spray it around your house, spray from your neck down, like at least once a day. Then you can drink from the cup 2, from the neck down. Well, you can't drink from cup 2, that's fine, but drink from cup 1. And you can also use cup 1 to spray your whole body. Then you can use this old zinc cup and drinks from and drink from it, like 40, 50 milliliter, a couple of times a day. It doesn't hurt for maintenance. And if you do come down with that virus, then you follow the protocol that was shared in the One Cup One Life, except now you add the old zinc cup into the solution as well, because that would take care of the side effect of the virus of having cancer. When Mr. Keshe mentioned that after 1 year, most people would die from cancer because of calcification and from infertility. Even people have no symptom, they will experience infertility. So here is the zinc that will solve that infertility problem. And zinc also balances the emotion as well. One thing that I never shared, I didn't get a chance to share when I was doing the Vietnamese video about the application of GANs. One critical thing that I think a lot of people would be very happy about, but I forgot to mention, that zinc GANs is more effective than any thing you can think of for increasing, let's put it this way, it's much more effective than Viagra. Zinc GANs. And one thing that Mr. Keshe mentioned in the past, that especially from women who has end their menstrual cycle, be careful when you drink zinc, you might get it again. So that is the only thing. A lot of issues with people are emotional. So when we have the zinc, it balances the emotion, and all the other problems go away. Yep, keeping away from my man. Well, I can tell you, my chicken are very active. So I feed my chickens liquid plasma, and the rooster are very, very active. I have a ton of spider webs. Is that normal? Spider web meaning within your GANs container, it's like if that's the case, then you have like a lot of field interaction in your GANs container. I did have that. I experienced that before when I was making magnesium GANs, which is okay. But once you shake it up, stir it up, it just set it back down, and it should be normal again. Sometimes you have bubbling and all the other thing. Depends on what you're doing, your environment, and interaction between other GANs. I think that pretty much sums up everything that I'm missing. How to use, usage, storage. Well, storage is simple. Put it in glass container, preferably plastic, and seal it up so that nothing gets inside. It lasts forever. Oh, that's normal. You have spiders, insects, and all the other things. They love plasma energy. That's one thing. When people are making them a graft unit and using it within the house and the room, a lot of insects and animals are attracted to the plasma energy. They know what's good for them. As long as they don't jump in there to take a bath, I'm okay with it. I have a lot of people who reported that, especially we have cats. My friend reported cats only when you put them in regular water, it will not drink it. If you put a plasma water, it drinks up all the water. it will not drink the regular water. It loves the plasma water. So the pets knows what's good for them, and they will choose the appropriate thing. So plasma energy creates the environment where you have, especially in my place when I use it, we have a lot of birds, we have a lot of things coming in, very lively. And a lot of people before, when they make them a graph, they use GANs to report the same thing. You have a lot of animals who come into your property and insects. Spider is normal. Spiders, when I find out, when I was doing an experiment in Vietnam, when I was creating a lot of zinc energy, I made it was reacted with strong zinc, all the spider in the room died. So that's one thing I noticed when I have like 5 or 6 different zinc from different salt material, and I create a reactor from it, like for it to create better flow of energy for a pesticide. The spider in the room died. So that's one thing I noticed. When you have too much energy in zinc, the spider died. They are very sensitive. That may be a good thing for a lot of people who don't like spiders. But so, anybody else have any questions? Let me try to think of something. If not, I'll come up with another video. But I think that's the main thing. It's very easy to follow. Look at the diagram. Do the diagram first, and after that, improvise. If not, then I thank you. Thank everyone for attending, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye-bye.